Greetings, welcome to Busme US. My name is Dr. Polar Human, and this short screencast will show you how to create a new site for your transportation system at your particular location. The first thing I need to do is sign on to the main Busme US site. In my last screencast, I already created a Busme customer account with my Twitter authentication. So I navigate up to the right-hand corner and click the Sign In button. Since today I've already authorized Twitter to be my login with Busme, I'll just click on the Twitter icon and it will do the authentication dance behind the scenes and will bring me directly to my Busme customer homepage, which right now lists my current Busme sites. Since I am a new Busme customer, I do not have any new sites, so there are none listed. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to create a new Busme site for the New Paltz Loop Bus in New Paltz, New York. Copy of their schedule and their route map. To create a new site, I hit the New button and it brings me to a form page with a map. This page is where I enter the initial information for my new site. First off, Busme wants to know where the center of my system is, as it will center the maps on the Android mobile app and the new website at this spot. The browser asks if I want to allow Busme to track my physical location. This question is a bit misguided. In fact, Busme doesn't want to track my physical location here. It only wants to bring the map to a reasonable location for me to start the creation process. This process is not always accurate when you don't have a GPS device attached. Since this browser is on my desktop, if I allow this privilege by clicking on the Allow button, the browser makes some guess of where I may be. Sometimes wrong, sometimes really wrong. Here it seems to bring me somewhere in a lake somewhere in northern Ontario. In any case, I need to center the map on New Paltz, New York. So I'll zoom the map out with the mouse wheel, and I can move the map by clicking down and dragging. I found Poughkeepsie here, and I know New Paltz is just west of Poughkeepsie, so I will zoom in far enough. There's New Paltz. I'll just drag that over and zoom in there, and I'm going to center the map at the bus station in New Paltz, which I know is on Main Street and Prospect Street, and here on the map you can see that. Now, to set the center, you need to drop the green marker at a particular spot on the map, and you do that just by a single mouse click. So I will click it right here at Main and Prospect. And you'll notice that the longitude and latitude have changed. Now, if you put this in the wrong place, you can always move it, and anytime you move it, you'll notice that the longitude and latitude have changed. So I'll bring that back. And if we're lucky, we'll get the correct time zone. If not, you can always set it by looking at the menu. The final pieces of information I need to supply are the display name of the system and the slug. The name is the Busme title that will appear on the mobile application and at the top of my site. The slug, which is a technical term, is the component of the web URL that we use to uniquely identify your site. It should follow the name somewhat, but it only allows small characters and no spaces. You will notice as we type New Paltz, New York, that the slug slowly follows the name that we gave it, changing the spaces and the comma into dashes. The slug has to be unique for all Busme sites, so we can uniquely identify your site using a web URL. And we request that you use a name, city, state format with dashes to keep them more or less unique. So I will do that here, and I will change the slug to be NP Loop, New Paltz, New York. I'll get rid of that extra dash. And now we have complete information. So we have our name, we have our slug, we have our longitude and latitude, and we have our time zone. Once all the required information for my new site is entered, I'll hit the Create button. If there are no problems, the system will begin to create my new site. During this process, it will create me an administrator account on that site. It will use the same authentication I used for the main Busme site as a customer, so you need to remember that. When this process is complete, it will sign me off of the main Busme site, and it will immediately sign me on to my new site, bringing me to the main administration page. On this page, we can see the information I entered for this particular site. Here's the name, the location, the time zone, and I am designated as the owner. If I need to change any of this information, I may click on the Edit Information button, and it brings me to a page that looks like the new site page. I can edit any of this information and update. Now, one question I have to ask is, where is my site? This is where the slug comes in. If we go back to the Busme main site and we log back in, we will come to our home page. And our home page will list our Busme sites that we've created. And here we can see we have the New Paltz site. And there are two important URLs. The first one is where my riders would go. This is http://busme.us/the slug that we actually use to create our site. And here we have nploop-new-paltz-ny. Our administration site is the same URL, only with a /admin after it. And since we're already logged on, if we go to our administration site, this will bring us right to our main administration page. It is from here where I can create our routes and schedules for our system in New Paltz. This concludes the screencast on creating a new Busme Transportation Site. In the next screencast, I will explore and explain the major parts of the administration of a Busme site. I'm Dr. Paul R. Human for Busme US. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the ride.